All right, we're live.
I need to send something.
Live on YouTube and Twitter. Special live stream, two special live streams this week. Today we're going to be looking at the most important signals within the Prospero app and also the stocks that are making the biggest moves within them. So this should be a really good stream for people who want an in-depth look at individual stocks and the best way they can take advantage of the signals within Prospero. And I think we got a lot of exciting stocks to look at today, George.
Yeah, I got to send out some stuff. I would love for Steven to talk a little bit more about exactly what we're going to do in terms of like looking at like the signal movers, our most important signals. Like this is going to be a really special edition because I'm going to show you we're close to 5% above 500% above the market on an annualized basis. I'm going to show you exactly what I'm doing this year. To do that, it's gonna be cool. I gotta send out some stuff, but Steven, just like talk like the signals I'm gonna go through are net option sentiment, upside, downside, um, short pressure, social sentiment, dark pool. Those are our most important movers. So if you could just like walk people through what those are by the time you're done, we're gonna be good.
All right, and we have a lot of viewers in here today. So comment where you're viewing from, Twitter, YouTube. Let us know that you enjoy the streams. We love seeing the interaction. Glad to see a lot of people in here. So net option sentiment we're going to take a look at first, and that's basically looking at institutional options trade on the stocks, and so all of the Prospero signals are on a bell curve, right? So the max is 100, lowest is 0, and the higher the number is, the more bullish. The lower the number is, the more bearish. The signals differ by sector because some like sectors like tech net option sentiment tends to be higher because many institutions bet on tech, and obviously tech growth has higher growth rates and all these factors. So that's the one we're going to be looking at. Dark pool is one that's always interested me because as a retail investor, the dark pool seems like mysterious and does not. It doesn't seem like there's a lot of information about it available. And it's really cool that Prospero has a signal dedicated for it, looking at the trades that I think all of our signals are based off institutions. So it's looking at the institutions, the trades that they're making on the dark pools that you wouldn't really get to see anywhere else. And we highlight that. And the way I've heard George explain it in the past is very high dark pool rating. It's kind of like a stock you want to stay away from because they tend to be the price they're showing in the market tends to be dislocated from where institutions actually think it should be or where the stock should be trading because institutions are messing with the actual price for the dark pool. Um, what's the next signal? Upside breakout, downside breakout. So um, I think generally what you want to see is just an upside breakout that is, far higher than downside breakout. If downside breakout ever crosses above upside breakout, that tends to be a really bad signal for a stock because that means institutions are betting more net bearish than net bullish for that particular stock, and the smart money tends to be right most of the time. So I think we try to look for stocks that I mean, if you could find a stock where the upside breakout is double the downside breakout, I think that's really good. And the more separated they are, the better. Another cool signal is short pressure rating, and this signal would have been extremely useful during the whole GME saga. When we could have looked at the amount of short pressure that there really was, because um, those shorts are gonna have to cover at some point. So if a stock is going up and it has a really high short pressure, or if stock is going down and it really has a really high short pressure, you can be able to get a really good sense of why the stock is moving the way the stock is moving. Let's see. What's a trend, a signal we don't typically talk about too much, George, is market similarity. Um,
We're not doing the mover like we're not doing the movers on that because it doesn't like the four that we left out, the six signals you described. The four that we actually left out are because they update kind of on a slower time scale on like a daily basis. So, that's one of the things that's one of the important things that we're talking about. I am almost done. Sorry, and then we can start talking about it. Send
Yes,
this to
and
myself.
for the people that are in here, I know that we are trying to build our Discord, so I'm going to share an invite link to our Discord
We're
in the
gonna post some
comments right
cool
now.
stuff there as well. But we're almost done. I apologize. We got some um it's just a very busy morning. Very like obviously us going to close to 500% above the market is super exciting. I have a great kind of live plan. I'm just like notifying some people. We're still trying to figure out how to do that. But I'm about a minute away from really diving into this thing. I'm seeing if our AI expert, our NASA AI expert, can join the live stream at the tail end. We have a meeting at 11. Um,
Yeah, maybe before we get into the individual stocks, I'll just update everybody on how the QQQ and SPY is looking today in
Perfect.
terms of net option sentiment. Um, so the QQQ is at 52 currently, and a couple days ago it was at 49. It's been as low as 45, so it's seemingly starting to trend higher in the this week so far. And it did pass the SPY, which we've been talking about in our other live streams, and it was lower than the SPY net option sentiment for a lot of this year. The SPY is currently at 47. It's actually the SPY hit a low of 43 a few days ago. It's been downtrending. It looks like it's starting to curl up. So
Here we go. We're
see
ready
how
to
that
go,
plays out.
Stephen. Sorry. We're doing this. We're actually showing our portfolio. Um, Thank you all. Oh, we did cross 500%. So here we go. This is a first time ever. We are 500% above the S&P 500 on an annualized basis. And I'll tell you why that's super cool. And I'm going to walk you through our whole process, how we do it, what our signals are. So you actually see this year we're 500% above. Like, there's no jokes here. What's very like we got SMCI heading into earnings. You could see two different SMCI positions, 84, 52. That's a big thing carrying. But we also had some very nice timings on Eli Lilly. We've had some great shorts. We've actually been hitting at a much higher, like a higher percentage of shorts than our longs, and taking a lot of good profit on the way. We've been doing this on market swings primarily. This is how we really like even talking about this as an investing strategy. Like, it's a volatile market. If you want to make money in a volatile market, you can't just go long. These are like unfortunate realities. Because shorting is a little riskier. I'm going to talk about some of the other things we recommend for like dipping your toe in the water on that. Um, because we have been projecting, we've been advising about this, we've been calling it since November, December that this was going to be a volatile year. So we've been gearing up for that. But I'm just going to show you right now exactly how we do everything. And right, so it's just like, yeah, you might be saying to yourself, if you're new, 515%, that's nuts, right? But we have actually been doing this for a bit. Like, if you go into our 2023 newsletter picks, not only did we do 44% yearly beat on that, we actually have this stuff really, really well annotated. And Stephen can drop this in. We are actually like a really open book. We will drop in actually our data room. I'll do that right now. That kind of navigates to all of the stuff that I'm about to show you. And you can just go in and see anything that you want about Prospero, the same thing that we send to our investors. There's no bullshit, no secrets with us. We are a very different company than how most people operate. So right at that link I'm showing you, you can nav to this on your own. Going in the data room, we're looking at our results. The Tesla case study is pretty cool, but we're just going straight into 2023 results to show you, basically some of the things that I'm saying right here. You can also even see our evolution. If you go into 2022, when we first started making these picks, we actually just straight up open source our transactions on that one. But basically, as I always am, responsive to retail investors, they said they can't trade. I was mainly swing trading QQQ options with QQQ net option sentiment. It can really be used for that. We have a really diverse population of signals that you can use in a lot of different ways. But what you can actually see in 2023 that's really cool about what we do in terms of like how organized this process is and it's becoming. So you can actually see what we did in 2023, our strategies, and then we annotated week by week exactly what we picked. You can go back and see the letters, why we picked it. And what's really cool about that, and it's just like some people like are saying like not really like I think it is a huge deal, and you can see all these links here, and we'll also post this link in here, but it's also in results 2024. Um, and you can see you can nav to the newsletter picks same way. Um, but what's really special about what we're doing, and I would say really cool, and a lot of people say like, oh, well, alpha dies and gets traditional alpha dies. But because at Prospero, we are engineered to not be greedy. It is part of our plan. We have been building these signals for 13 years. My team and I, some at a prior company, but this has been a passion of mine for a lot longer. And basically, you can see we think people are being short sighted and greedy because we have a long term path to build these signals in a silo. So when we send you net option sentiment, when we send you these things, essentially what we're doing is we're tracking where institutions are making bets in the options markets. That's primarily like our hero signals. That's net option sentiment. It's a little bit upside breakout and downside, and I'm happy to answer those at the end. I want to make sure that I have time for everything. And we can definitely come back to that if people have questions. And you can, as I said, navigate to this yourself. I do want to get into a little bit of what we're doing now. I will show you the model portfolio, right? The really amazing thing about it is not only do we have these newsletter picks that are kind of like, I would say higher conviction, right? We made 154 all year. And what I'm doing is like combining my value investing background, which by the way, I was a classically trained value investor. I worked for a very famous business school professor at Columbia at the Center for Value Investing when I was 16, Bruce Greenwald. I worked at my first hedge fund as a value investor when I was 17. So I'm taking these principles, and when I do the newsletter picks, I'm combining the signals, and every weekend I write a free letter that combines our signals and value investing, right? But what's really cool is I've started to do a hybrid approach where you can see I've made 60 already this year. That's what makes what we're doing in this 500% beat and absolutely incredible because we're churning at a much higher rate than we were last year. Like at this rate, we basically get to I think essentially 6 times this amount of picks as last year, where we beat it by 44%. But what's really incredible, and what I'm about to show you, and why I'm giving you all that background, right, is we are actually in our model portfolio. We are 52% above. And I actually think that's more impressive than the 500 because if you'll notice, there's 779 picks in here. And one of the things about that is it is harder the more you pick to beat the S&P 500. And what is super cool there, not only are we just doing such a high churn rate, like for comparison, we make 100 picks in this portfolio a month. You pay more for seeking alpha picks. They don't return as high above the S&P 500. And they're generating 2 ideas a month to our 100 ideas a month. That's the magic of our technology. I am actually going to show you exactly some of the things that we built that we're able to do this model portfolio. And you'll see it a little today. But if you actually want to see, because we're going through a different process, how quickly you can nav in that thing to alpha strategy, secret sauce, you can go exactly to this video that says, and we'll post it here, 10 minutes. I update the model portfolio in 10 minutes. That's how powerful our signals are. And the thing about it is I do it in 10 minutes and I just do essentially what I say is separating like the wheat from the chaff because I'm demonstrating just how powerful the signals are and that I barely need to look and they still work. So you can actually see on this video right here, nav to yourself, how we do everything there. But now I'm actually just going to show you exactly how we do it. So we started this new long tracker and what is going here? Well, it's being a little temperamental, it looks like. Who cares? We're gonna do something else. It doesn't matter. I've actually pre-pulled these are like our live metrics. I actually pre-pulled something from last week, and we're basically going to see exactly how we'd assess any of our movers and any of the things that we kind of call important ratios, right? So I'm actually pulling up, I believe I have the 214 right here. I do. And we were doing net option sentiment, upside, downside, social, short pressure, dark pool. Right? I think you explained all those, right, Stephen?
Yes, I believe I went through all of those.
You can ask if anyone has follow-up questions on what those are. You guys can tell me if you have any questions. I will try and talk while I'm doing this. I am pretty quick with Excel and can multitask pretty well, but I'm not perfect, so I might lose a little attention as I do it. All right, social sentiment, short pressure, dark pool. Here we go. Dark pool, right? And we actually are just going to do an easy little lookup from here because the math is going to get done there, right? So we're going to do that. Oh, I already started to do this. Oops. Duplicating work, whatever. Okay, there we go. Now we're going to go back into this sheet. And we're actually going to put this one, I believe. Yes. Always lock in those cells for you Excel people, right? And then we're actually just going to copy this formula. Will this work? W4. I think this probably work. Let's just make sure WX4. No, we need to lock in the actually W. And then we're going to do the 3. And then we're going to do four. Nine. Uh-oh. Did we do 7? Let's just see. Oops. 4, 5, 6, 7. There we go. Do we have any questions on the signal, Stephen, or people just kind of watching this? Stephen, can you hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, now I can.
Oh, yeah, I said, we have no questions right now. I must have done a decent job explaining, but we do have some new people, so, um,
Oh, that's fine. I think people are just like kind of waiting to see like we're doing some stuff here. People are going to want to see the results. I just wanted to make sure I'm not going too fast or doing anything. We're going to have some cool results here. All right, Sunday, February 4th. That's not what we want. We actually want the 8th. We're looking for a week ago. And we're not going to be too picky, but we do like to get it as close to exactly the week as possible. So what are we doing? It's 10:51. We don't want to be so particular. 10:50, great. I'll just do that. Okay, and then we're going to do one thing, two. I think we can probably just really make this very quick for ourselves. We just take a little more step, paste these values. Right. Oh, oops, we did one mistake. Do that, and then paste the values. that's going to give us 1 week movers and 1 day movers and 1 week movers. But we just have the added step. And Stephen, I think if I'm correct, it's net options. Oh no, net options is first. Then we have gain, loss. I think it's social, and then we did short pressure, dark pool, right?
What are you referring to?
Oh, you're useless, Stephen.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
What are we even paying for? Short pressure, dark pool. I got it right. See, it's wasting time. I knew it the whole time. All right, now we're gonna go back in, and we're just gonna pop this right in. I believe we have the tickers too, right? All right, and then this second one should update, I believe, right? Yes, we should be all that. And it's always good to spot check. Ah, that's funny. We're gonna spot check Spotify. We're checking it. We want these numbers. Just are gonna want to make sure it's all correct. So we're gonna go. We're gonna pop some filters here. If I was in Excel, I wouldn't have to actually look for these filters. Google Sheets really needs to like step up its game. All right, we're looking for spots. All right. Annoying. These features. Very annoying. It's always good to make sure you are checking your work. All right. Check's good. Here we go. Now we can actually do the fun part. We're actually going to take out these exact numbers in 1 second. We just actually need to see what we're doing in 1 second. Promise. We are going to do this. If this was in Excel, this would all be faster, but I think we're going to get some good stuff done today, so it doesn't matter. All right, so we're doing this, and then we want to divide it by this. Or it's 100 centimeters this. But let's see. I think this will actually. I was trying to think of how to make this go faster, but I don't think there's a way to make it go faster. So we're not going to make it go faster. We're just going to do it right. Okay, so there's that. Upside. We do, to make our lives easier, I do think we want to just note where some of this stuff is. So gain is Z is right, gain is C. All right. And then we have downside, and then we have loss is E. That's right. Oh, wait, did you get that right? How did I get that right? Loss is E. That was just lucky. Let's see if we can get lucky again. Social sentiment. I don't think so. I don't think we're that lucky. Social sentiment is yeah, I don't think we're that. Yes, we're about to get some really cool stuff going on here. Short pressure. Oh. Sorry, I'm juggling a lot of things. Okay, so we're doing that short pressure 39. And 10. Um, so 4. Okay. Now we got all of those. Now we're just starting from the beginning. This time, can just do. There we go. Nice little paste format there. That's always nice. Right. Now we want upside. This. L4. We gotta paste values first. Paste format. Well, that can't be right. Oops. See? Oh, I gotta look. No. Format. There we go. Can't ever go so fast that you're messing anything up. Okay, but now we have our order. We want to do that. And then now we want to do this formula. Then we'll have the proper formatting. A. Oh, and I can't wait. We're about to get to the point where I get to take this back to Excel, and my life just gets way easier. All of our lives get way easier. Thank you for coming on this journey with us. You're gonna leave knowing a lot more about the stocks that you care about. And we are actually going to just like very happily tell you live what our metrics are saying about this stock and how they're moving. Okay, what's going on here? AP. Okay. Oh, we did our format thing again. It's all right. We gotta do it. Okay, now we're gonna do our format thing. Want to grab the short pressure. That's R. All right, we're at the end here, folks. We're at the end. We get to do the fun part. All right, or at least what I think the fun part is. Excel can be fun, and oh no, we want this to say end, and we want this to say AT4. Perfect. There we go. Oh, thank God. Now we are going to take all of this stuff and move it to paste value. Oh, yeah, this is going to be way easier to work with. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is get rid of these pesky NAs. We don't like them. They make things hard and ugly. Now, we didn't do. We want the current values of these first. Okay, no problem. How many we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Actually, it's quicker. I think this is going to be quicker than going back into that hellhole. We're going to get everything is super fresh here. Oh, I hate when that happens. We had these fresher numbers just come in, and that gives you the idea of how quickly this thing updates. Every 3 minutes. That's like one of the really that's like how we can get ahead of the market so often because like our options metric actually update and like I would say our hero metrics. So there's a lot of options data and it says gain loss here, but upside and downside. Um, and then net option sentiment that updates every 3 minutes. So our screeners in the app also update every 3 minutes. That's one of the reasons that it's just like the whole thing is so powerful and successful. Because what tends to happen with institutions is they will make their options before they trade the stock. So we're basically seeing them and pushing through to you and making an R picks. Um, what they're doing, and often it's trading options, especially the short term ones that net option sentiment is picking up before uh, they uh, before they trade the stock, right? Because if you think about it from their perspective, they are they're making way more money on the options trades than the stock. So they want to put on their options trades before they start trading the stock and pushing up the value, right? Because if they do it in the other way, they're just going to be buying more expensive options and killing their gain, right? So they're almost required, and this is a big part of our thinking for this. They're like pretty much required to put in these options trades before they start like buying a stock. They want to push up the value or down, piece of like put up or reverse. So yeah. All right, we're just gonna do one more thing. We're gonna paste these values, and then we're gonna do some super fun stuff. Uh, all right. So I think the first thing that we can just do is like let's take a look at net option sentiment movers, right? That's our hero metric. That's super interesting. This was still at 0, right? So what's going on here? And I'm gonna put it a few like really important checks, I would say. This is a really cool one where we do upside minus downside. Like this is like super important. Um, and let's just see if we can conditionally throw at this. I'm really not as good at the condition formatting, to be honest, but I'll show you it in another thing. Mm, There we go. Right? So we're looking at red, right? And we see this leg as a very interesting thing right here, right? Leg is something that we've done, right? It's got a really like bad ratio. It's got a 12 net option sentiment. This is looking like a good thing to highlight, right? Oh, we don't want to do one more thing. Well, we can also go to the bottom. We should freeze these. Freeze these top. Freeze top. Um, and one of the things that we're just going to do, I'm trying to figure out the best way to do this in terms of copying. I think I know. Yeah, we haven't filtered anything, so I think we're good here. Let's just do this. And then we're just going to, this is filtered by net options movers. So we're going to do this and that, right? And then and we're just going to do a little. No, that's not gonna work. We need a more reserved character. Let's just do question mark. Save ourselves. Oh, whatever, actually. Oh, God, what's going on here? All the streaming. I think I'm overwhelming my poor little computer. Oh, this is why I want to set my desktop up. All right, sorry everyone. We got to close some things down. This is probably not helping. So let's get rid of that. The poor little computer. Actually, it's a pretty powerful, but it's a laptop, and laptops just don't really cut. Let's get rid of a lot of this stuff. I almost hooked up my desktop today, which is really funny because it definitely would have helped. But that's okay. We're just shutting some things down. Giving this poor thing a little less to worry about. Okay. Now we're back in it. We're back in it. We're back doing the interesting stuff. We might have someone in here with us. Good. James is going to do it. Oh, this will be really cool. We're having our AI expert join. I need to send him the StreamYard link. Oh, we lost a lot of good men out there, Stephen. But this is a lot to take in. I guess James is going to join us. It doesn't really matter. This is mainly because we wanted to do this update, and anyone that wanted to come along for the ride could. All right. Now we're back in the Excel. This is the first thing. We promised people we were going to post special things on Discord, and we always keep our promises. Let's post one. Why is it doing this now? This is just so it doesn't paste weird, right? We said we wanted to do one there. When James comes, you can let him in, Stephen.
All right, I will. We did get a question from Spiky Dude, and he's saying when you talk about short of stock, is it short selling or buying a put?
I'm always talking about short selling, and we can talk about like why I'm doing that another time. But yeah, I think that it's just basically because like yes, you have unlimited losses on shorts, but the problem with puts is that you can just like, especially if you're buying puts, you can lose value in them so quickly, and like timing those things right is just not available to most people. It's just not a great. Okay. We should pop off these auto filters so it actually paste
I believe
well.
James just joined, so I'll bring him up.
Yep, get him
Get him in
in.
here.
Get him in.
Hello,
And we
James.
are.
Hey.
Hey, we're gonna stop and say hello to you for a second. Sorry, James and I were supposed to have a meeting right now, but it is an hour meeting, so we're still gonna get to we're still gonna do the back half. But James,
Yeah.
just to catch you up, if you wouldn't mind sharing it on your Twitter, that would be great. The link, I have it. I think I sent it to you on X. But what we're doing here is I'm actually showing everyone live for the first time. We actually crossed, to catch you fully up, we crossed 500% on an annualized basis for the beat. So very interesting milestone for us today.
Wow.
And we decided to open it up and really show people like exactly what we're doing, what we're looking for. So I'm actually in the midst of something that I didn't just invite you here to see your beautiful face. We are also showing people like what we look at in a different way than we ever have. So like we are actually showing people wait, which one is this? I think we actually we're not fully labeled on this yet. We're actually just basically showing people what we're doing here. And this is the first thing we're basically going to share. We're going to share it on Discord as we promised. These are our net option sentiment movers. And whatever, we'll just do about 20. We don't need to be particular, and then we're gonna like talk a little bit about how we might actually like select something and maybe make some trades that Okay, so we're looking at these movers. Do we have anything interesting? I would say leg is the only interesting thing, and we might just end up opening up live positions on those and probably just like mark them in the live stream, actually. But let's check out what's going on with leg. We always like to verify in the technicals. James, please ask questions if you have anything. Oh, we're actually not going to do leg because I'm basically seeing on a shorter time scale. Well, actually, let's look at 5 minutes. It might actually be a good time to catch it. It's actually heading back down. So we are going to do that. And we're just going to post it on our Discord. This is a new thing. All right. And that's as simple as how we do it, right? The things I'm looking at, I'm seeing that basically like leg is moving down in net option sentiment. Or I guess it might be, this is the current option sentiment. And then it's just got its downside breakout is much higher than its upside breakout. So I don't know what's going here, actually. Its current option sentiment is this. And it's saying 304%. So I'm gonna actually have to go back into this and see what happened there. What could be happening is that net option sentiment, as it frequently does, is moving. But I just want to verify that and that we don't have some kind of copying problem, and that will be very quick. We got to go here. We want to look at leg. I mean, I think either way, we're good. All right? See, this can update pretty fast. We want to search from here. $48. 14 to 40. Okay, yeah, it went up and back down. So that's fine. We're highlighting it for a different reason, but it's still the reason that it's the correct is we basically verified that the current value for leg is 12 and it's volatile, and we're also seeing it go lower. So I'm pretty happy with this. And the difference here is like First Republic up here. I mean, sorry, First Holding, something like that, is not moving as fast. But let's go down and let's basically let's see if there's anything that's of the high variety, right? Because these are all movers, and like these are all pretty low. So there's nothing that exciting here. We're gonna see Zella has a pretty high thing here. So we're just gonna take one look at the technical, and then we're gonna move on to the next signal. Ooh, that looks like also a pretty interesting. Yeah. I mean, we might even want to do that in our newsletter picks too, because I know Zella. I know that could be like a little bit of a meme stock, and if you catch it on the way down, losing momentum, that could be very, very interesting. Its net option sentiment is going down. It has been going down pretty consistently. I might actually pull the trigger on this in the newsletter if I see something that I also like. Yeah, I am. I'm going to do this in a different venue. I'm going to do it more officially. But I'm going to do it. I'm going to open it up in both the newsletter and the model portfolio, which we explained at the beginning the difference. The model portfolio is just kind of like lower conviction, higher churn. We went through it already, and now we're kind of focused on our positions. But if you want to watch the beginning of the video now, we'll explain it well. Doing a lot of multitasking here. Any questions, James? Well, how do you feel about this? You've been thrown into the deep end on this signature. I know you do some of this stuff on your own.
Yeah, I mean, this is you're throwing me in the deep end here, so I'm basically just reading a lot of column titles and trying to make sure I'm tracking what you're
Ask questions because you're smarter than the average bear. So if you're confused, I'm sure a lot of our readers also might be, or watchers also might be confused.
Yeah.
So
when you talk about the sort of sentiment upside, downside, and sort of calculating those numbers, like what's the window of calculation? Like what timeline are they considering? 14 days, a week?
This is current. Upside minus downside. These are the current values.
Oh, just straight current. Okay.
Yes. And we actually might have put these in the wrong place, but that's okay. But we're basically like taking straight current, and then we're taking a look, and I want to grab some more space here, at the changes, right? We're going change by change. So, right, we'll just do the next one, and let's actually make our lives easier by making less decimal points here.
So that upside minus downside is a calculation of the difference as a snapshot of those two columns, upside and downside, which are sort of point in time metrics.
And like there are most important like back tested long term signals, right?
Yeah.
So we're what's really important to us here is like that's a big indication. If you can see net where institutions are like how and the extent that they're betting long term, right? That's super helpful.
Yeah.
So we only got through the first. We're going to get through all of them. We have a little system now. We did NOS change. Now we're going to do upside breakdown. And we're going to do the same thing, largest to smallest, beyond just like first of all, like we always find like beyond interesting. But if you look, this high short pressure, high dark pool makes it too risky for us, right? So we're looking at this same thing. Now we're going to go put this here, and we're going to put it right. The computer is upset again. I was just saying I'm actually about to set up my a better desktop computer here, James, because I'm increasingly starting to test the limits of this laptop. That is a high performance laptop. Laptops are just not. I'm sure you struggle with the same thing. A funny story about me in my past life. I was building these like complex like algorithms when I was 24, 25 in Excel for like a 2,000 person company. And like I was just like breaking Excel, and they kept on having to like buy me like more and more powerful computers because like I didn't have like the wherewithal to like do Python or like databases.
Yeah.
So I was like, I need to work in Excel, and this computer is breaking. And they just kept on buying me like increasingly expensive laptops. And it was just like hilarious because they were like, again, I was like, yeah, it's not running. What do you want me to do? And it was always just like really funny conversation with IT. They were just like, well, you know, maybe you could learn how to like code or database. It's like, who's got the time for that? Like, just get me a new laptop.
Oh, see, I had the opposite problem. I knew how to code, but I was working in the government context, and I was like, oh yeah, but you're not allowed to run any of that coding software. You can't run your own scripts, but you can run Excel. So suddenly you're trying to hack at. I mean, I remember when like Excel had like a 2,000 row like hard limit. Like it just nope. Anything you copy and pasted after that, it would just get deleted. No warnings, nothing. You quickly discovered that problem.
I remember dealing with a million. How long ago was it? 2,000 rounds.
Oh, this was like probably 95 XP. Like it was like first or second version of Excel.
You're really talking about a long time ago. You're letting people know how old you are, James.
Or how old government technology was. It's maybe maybe the caveat.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, we might not have time to get through all these because I do actually want to talk to James on our. We might actually push it to 11:40. We don't have tons of stuff to talk about, right, James?
No, this is more interesting. Let's do this.
Good. I think it is, but I can't speak for you. You really got thrown into this. All right. Let's look at this. These are more. It's interesting. We're kind of seeing like this upside move. So. That's current upside. The last upside on DM, I guess yesterday was 10. So that's moving up. Like these are basically like what we're looking for here is if any of these, like none of these are in the right direction. And I'll tell you why, right? Because we're seeing high net option sentiment here, but a minus on the upside or downside right now. This ABR is actually interesting as a short because it's got such low option sentiment. I don't know if we like jump to conclusions on that Zella, but it's done now.
Doesn't look like
What's
there was
going on with ABR? See, we're not as excited about that. That is actually moving up. So there's nothing. I think there might be nothing to see here, but we are going to do what we did last time, and get people like a little copy of this upside breakout movers. I don't really find anything interesting here, but maybe you guys will. If you're following on Discord, and you find any of these interesting, or want to know like why I'm saying they're not interesting or whatever, please feel free. All right, now we're done. We're really good. We're getting our little system going. We like it. Sort on downside. Oh yeah, look at all those rings. This is becoming a very interesting experiment. Put it there. Getting a little better addiction. All right. Now let's see if there's anything interesting here. All right, this is moving up. This is downside. Downside's at 3. So yeah, nothing interesting here. Let's look at the net option sentiment, right? We've got some higher ones, right? So now we want to see, oh, this could definitely be interesting. That is, I guess that's downside moving up, but that is a lower. Oh, here we go. CRSP is an interesting wall. We might end up getting into this. But what's going on? Downside is moving up. So let's see what downside was. It's moving up from 9. Let's it's not a big deal. And CRISPR Therapeutics, very interesting. 6% up. Let's see. I'm very interested in this. I want to do one more check. And I just want to and you can see how I do this. We're going to go to like Yahoo Finance News and just see like when earnings was, what exactly is going on. We don't want to necessarily like city earnings the 15th. Oh, is this a biotech? Is this in strategy? All right, I think we're getting into this. On the long side. Look at all this interesting stuff that's happening. What a productive little jaunt here. We're getting into CRISPR, we think. Yes. We're going crazy. We got a lot of gains. We'll get out today if any of these go wrong. That's the nice thing. You guys are really getting to see how the sausage is made here. And what I'm doing when I'm looking at my phone is I'm just like sending out messages that I'm doing exactly what I'm telling you guys. We are doing exactly as promised, showing you exactly how we add these. One other check that I do that I'll tell you guys that I might just interject, that's pretty important, is I'll look on Barron's. And I'll tell you why I look on Barron's. I like different news sources. And like I think Barron's might like pan CRSP right here. And I just actually want to know what Barron's thinks of it. I don't expect it to do well, but I always like this as an edit check. This is more traditional. This is more value, right? So I'm going to research and ratings. Or is it stock rater, right? Yeah. See? Wait. Sentiment rating, positive. Okay, so positive sentiment rating, but not great on the value. I expected that, right? And we can actually see, some of like doing way better than Moderna. It's not great, like, right? But I bet if we look in Zella, it will also look very bad. And we can also just look at we can look at other stocks, but I expect this to be bad too. Yeah, really bad, not great sentiment. Similar though. But we'll take a look at that. We're gonna keep pressing on. We're gonna show people. Yeah, fun is always really hard. Fun is a garbage company, by the way. I know like a lot of meme stock people like it. It's a garbage company, just to be like super clear. And oh, SC has kind of higher short pressure. Oh, CRSP has very high short pressure, but that's not bad. It could really bust those shorts based on what we're seeing. But anyway, we also never like to lean too much on one signal or the other. So we're actually just going to keep moving along. And we're going to keep moving along. And in order to get to the end, we're not really going to base, we're not really going to base, what if it's 11:20? We're actually going to take a look because I don't really like to base things on social moves or anything else. But we're actually just going to take a look on the one day and then decide if we want to just breeze through the 1 week and do it a little differently. So I think that's the best way to do it. Now it's time to sort by social sentiment change. Oh, there's ABR. Steven, are you on Discord? You can also just post this live stream there in case anyone's there and they don't know and they want to watch. Yeah, Zella's going down in social sentiment too. I think we're in the right place on it. CHRD. That's okay. I'm interested in that. It's like, but it would only be, I wouldn't do this in the newsletter, mostly because, no, I'm not doing it at all. It's going too positive. I was looking at it negative and it's going way too positive. What about Siri? Siri, social sentiment raising. No, we're looking for all this stuff. But yeah, I don't think anything. Oh, damn. You know what we messed up? Oh, we didn't look at the decliners. All right, we're gonna look at that on. I think we're gonna skip ahead. But yeah, see, it's a new thing. We did a little wrong, but we're rushing. We're rushing to the end here, and we're not just gonna like none of these. I don't love social sentiment anyway. Actually, what we're gonna do something fun. We're actually just gonna post all of these, and then we're gonna go back and see if anything looks interesting. And James, if you want to look in Discord or Steven or whoever, and you tell me as I just hammer these out, if anything, are you on our Discord, James?
I am, yes.
If you want to, as I hammer these out, if you want to just like point to any of them that look interesting, that would be great. Like in terms of the changes, how they look in the other metrics, like any of that stuff, you can pass. But that might be interesting as I just like pop through these. Oh, we start at 3, so we actually want to go to 23 on this stuff. Then we're going to do that social. All right. Social decline. Now. Actually, I don't know what I'm doing. I just like leave.
So what do you mean when you say social decliners? What's that? What's that in reference to
People we don't
relative
like.
to the other? Okay.
People we don't like, and everybody's, they're losing social capital.
Mm.
But like, yeah, I think that we're obviously looking at the gainers and losers. So like, I mean, anything here, you can look at either the raw signals, or you can basically like look what we're seeing in terms of like this, the dark pool movers, and then I'm just going to go through and actually, I think this is a better way to do it after they're all posted. We're running into this again. We're going to just actually kind of go through and see if there's any, right? So these are now like, these are the positive movers. We're sorry, yeah, these are the upward movers, and then we're going to do the downward movers next. On dark. I'm actually going to start bolding the column. Or just it's a really easy like visual tool for me. Look at us. And then we'll actually I'll just review this whole thing together. All right, we did all that. Now we're just going to do option sentiment upside and downside for the 1 week move, but we're going to look both directions. So largest. Ooh. We are still rating those. We don't like anything that they're about. They're interfering with our very nice clean sheet here. Oh God, Excel. It's disappointing. What's going on with these? We don't care about here. Okay. Now we're to here. We got, and I actually liked when I got rid of these. And then we're going to even get smarter. Percent change. We're just going to actually put this. We're just getting much smarter here. And then we're going to bold it. And now we're ready to copy. What's going on? That's what I thought. See anything that looks interesting there? James?
No, not interesting enough. I defer to your wisdom here. I'm just
All right. So let me
following along.
I'll take a quick pause to tell you what looks interesting to me on this one.
Yeah, that would be helpful.
Downward is good, right? So we know these are downward on a 1 week change, right? So I want to look for anything that is very low. CCK might be low enough at 41, but it might honestly not be low enough. But let's take a look at if there's any good longs, right? Because this is going up, right? So, oh, that's really funny. Zella is like at 500, it used to be so low, like, right? So here I'm looking at high in option sentiment because we're looking at big changes. And actually, we've got nothing here. So nothing looks very interesting at all. So you were right to say that. See, you passed the test. Nothing was interesting. All right. And actually, we don't really need these anymore. So we're going to make our scrolling life easier and banish them to the end of the sheet. All right. Oh, did we, whatever. Now we want to change this and move it next to upside percent change, we are going to throw that in. We're going to copy. We're going to bold. Oops. We're going to bold it. We are going to wait for this computer to stop being slow, as it insists it wants to do. Then we just sort of largest first and get the large movers. Yeah, this is okay. So upside, what's moving? UPS, any units. So now we're like looking since we're looking at up, save is going up, right? But I don't know, like save actually might be interesting to look today because they got hammered on earnings. But if upside is actually looking a little better, wait, is that right? Oh no, never mind. Save is looking terrible. I think that's actually like an airline. Wait, what's going on with CBay? CBay is something that I'm going to look at. It's not 52 to 38 is not very high enough, but actually, if it looks good, I would do it in the model portfolio. And that's really like, all right, 15. This is very weird. It's like just looking very uninteresting. I mean, it's heading back up. You know what? I'm going to take a flyer on CBay, and I'm going to be very careful on it. We're just going to mark it here. First, let's post this so people can actually see the report that we're looking at. And you know what? We can just give it a little green here. So we make it a little easier on people. And then we're going to do this.
Yeah, the 100 short pressure on CBay is interesting.
Yeah. But what is interesting about that 100 short pressure and why I'm taking a flyer on it, 100 like dark pool, like this is like at a net option sentiment that's spiking like that, it could mean those shorts are about to get wrecked. That's what's interesting to me.
Yeah.
So we're going to take a flyer. We're going to watch it. We're going to see if the shorts get wrecked. But I'm going to keep my eye on that today because it's potentially scary. All right, here. So now we're in the downside of the 1 week option sentiment change, right? So now we're actually looking at, we're looking for low option sentiment, like this ANSS. But the upside is higher than the downside, so we don't like that as a short, obviously. SNY could be. This could be. We can take a look at SNY as a short. So what's going on with the market, Stephen? What's going on with option sentiment on QQQ and SPY? Anything on that?
QQQ is at 52, which is the same as when we started, and SPY is at 49. I think that's slightly higher from when we started. It was at 48.
Already actually, okay, we're going to look at the technicals on the market in a second. These, let's see how we don't like them. All right, so we're almost to the end here, and we're going to get at least 15 minutes for our conversation. Okay, 1 week, done here, moving right along. Oh, we have the, wait, what happened here? Oh, was that upside? Oh, we just moved upside. Okay, good. I think I might have mislabeled something, but we press on. We might even be done before that. If I focus. What is we want the biggest downside? Gas funds coming up again, not a surprise at all, right? So now we are looking at 1 week change on. Yes. So right now we're looking at up on downside. So this is shorts again, right? So we're actually looking at low. So OCOL. No, we don't love that because that's only it's going up. I don't think anything looks all that interesting. With no downside. Let's see. Downside going up, low net option sentiment, anything, and SS is and NOX could be no, it's too high. No, nothing interesting here. All right. Now we just need to see, we're going to look at one more thing, which is we mislabeled this. This was upside right there. Upside down. Okay. We are getting to the end here. Wow. I didn't think we'd get here. But we did. Okay, smallest orders. That's great. Anything interesting. So we're looking at high options. Oh, CBA, we just added that. That's consistent. Lower downside. STNG is always interesting. Scorpio tankers. Can you talk to me about Scorpio tankers option sentiment movement? This map is interesting. This could be a good long. 30. Okay, no, we're staying away from this. This is just it's just too much in terms of earnings, but like that's why it's spiking. That makes total sense. Okay. And you know what? We're gonna do something nice that we don't normally do, just because we appreciate all of you that have joined into this. We are actually going to just make this spreadsheet available to all of you on Discord. Actually, no, I don't know if we're gonna do that. Maybe later. I got to think about that. This is actually one we can upside down. Too many confusing words. All right, we are done. Any questions? Any questions, James?
We did have a question in our chat about if we're going to update the bullish screener in our app.
So that's a good thing. What ended up happening there, unfortunately, is that I haven't really stopped being bullish, right? And I know that looks old, and I was obviously right about that. So that's the tough thing, where I was like, I didn't really want to update it. I realized that the date got old, and that might be confusing, but I wasn't updating it because I was still bullish, right? So I was like, no need to update it. I think that filter's still good. We haven't quite figured out a good way to do that, but I should address it. You're right. We shouldn't be having people lag behind like that. I'm going to jump into my meeting with James, though, now. Thanks, everyone, for coming. I'll see you in the Zoom, James.
Thanks, everybody, for watching. We'll be back Monday. See you guys. Hopefully you got some good